Good morning, everybody. I'm Billy, the Crafty Floridian. Let me turn you around a little bit. I know there's a glare. This room is full of sunshine. I'm on the sunshine, the heavy sun all day long on the side of the building where I live, and I see that glare again. Let me see if I can get that back over here. There we go. That's a little bit better. But it's Sunday morning. It's been a couple days since my last video, and I just needed to sit down for a few minutes and have a cup of tea, and I thought I'd just come on and talk and show you what I've done all weekend. I haven't done much as far as around the house. I've been crocheting for the last couple days. I tried my little sock trick on my arms to see if it was the yarn that was making my arms break out, and guess what? It wasn't. So you can see it's a little red there, and it's super red right through here. So it has something, I think it has something to do with my autoimmune disease in my nerves, because I do have neuropathy. So I think in the motion of it, it breaks out. There was a rash last night, and I put some lotion, not lotion, but cream on it, and it seems to have gone down this morning. So it doesn't, it's not burning or anything this morning. So, but it was bright red when I went, all raised, the skin was all raised in bumps, and like an allergy. It was always like an allergy. That's why I thought maybe it could be, oops, I didn't mean to crack my nose. I do that every now and then when they feel stiff. And they feel kind of stiff today. So I worked, yesterday I worked all day until 3 o'clock this morning, trying to get the rest of to get some of these commissioned items done. Well, I finished the commissioned scarf with the pockets, and I put this color pocket on it, and it's quite long, so I hope that she likes it. The color is burgundy, and that's Red Heart Burgundy. And then I had some extra yarn, so I made a band that she could, and I just put in the front post in, and then I did a couple rows of half double crochet, and then I put a button in the back so that she can button it, or she can move the button or whatever. I usually, when I do a commission item, and I don't know if you guys do this, but I know, when you get, buy something in the store and it has a little bag attached and might have some beads, or it might have a button in case you lose a button. So what I do is I always roll up a little bit of yarn and send it with it in case they need it to maybe move the button or whatever. Or if the other button come off, then they'll have a little extra yarn where they can just sew the buttons on. So it's a good rule if you do commission items to send them a little rolled up piece of yarn. And sometimes, in this incident, I'm going to send them a copy of the Red Heart folder, and it gives the instructions on how to take care of the yarn and the item. So I'm just going to send that along with it, so that she'll have all of this. So, and then what I did, Claire had done this particular yarn, Red Heart, felt very stiff to me. So what I did is I took these items and I put them in conditioned water. I took hair conditioner, I put it in the water, and then I soaked these for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. And then I wrung it out, and then I stuck it in the dryer. And it came out very nice. It's a lot softer, and it's going to last a long time. Like I think I've told you before, I find that Red Heart is good for things that people use a lot, and they can just throw in the washer. And it gets soft. It'll get softer and softer as you wash it. So that is my finished commission item. So I am going to email her today and tell her we are ready to get this out so I can ship it this week. I have, oh, you wouldn't believe it, I have 3 big boxes over here already named and tagged and ready to ship. So this is good because I have this one done. So that makes me happy. I'm drinking some tea, and my sinuses are absolutely killing me this morning. I just am so sensitive to the change in the weather. We had a couple hot days, and then it got a little chilly yesterday, and now it's going to be warm again today. It's going to be in the 80s today. So I'm not complaining about the weather. I love the weather, and that's why I live here, because I love the weather. This is my Going Coastal mug. If you can see, it has like a margarita. It has like a strawberry daiquiri and another little thing on there, but it's Going Coastal. And a friend of mine gave me this for my birthday one year. My birthday is February 13th, so it's a month from today. Oh my God! I mean, I don't do anything for my birthday. I don't get cards. I don't celebrate. But my friend Deb, she celebrates with me sometimes when she's feeling good. So this is the one item that I completely finished. Now, the second item that I finished was my cardigan. I did. I finished it. I put the long sleeves on. I think, like I told you before, she said she'd rather have the long sleeves. So I used the yarn I had, and I don't know about you, but when I have to do duplicates, like 1 sock, 2 socks, anything that has a duplicate to it, in like 2 sleeves, and I think it looks boy, am I babbling or what? Babbling like a brook is what I'm doing. I had to look real carefully, and I think what I did is I did an extra row of half double crochet on this one, and it feels like it's a little smaller, but it's not. Now this one is a lot softer than the burgundy, and this is all of this is Red Heart. So I have finished, and I will be contacting my cousin and tell her that it's finished. And of course, she'll have to wash it, but once you wash it a few times, it'll get nice and soft. Whew, I just didn't think I'd ever get this done, but I did. And you do a whole row all the way around. The only thing I didn't do that it calls for in the pattern is the hood is supposed to have some increases in it. But she's very small. She's a little girl. So I figured, and plus, you know, the hood, it's not going to be used that much. I think it's more decorative than anything else. But anyway, so we'll see. I think she'll love it, and something special for me. You know, I know this is not, I'm not trying to be morbid, but there's just some things that I want to do for folks before, you know, who calls me up. And you know who I'm talking about. So that's finished. And then the other commissioned scarf for my cousin up in Virginia, it started, and it's variegated. It's the Burnett Pop. I think it's ebony and, oh, let's see. But I got this in the mail today, this week from Joann's. And the reason I got it, because it was on sale for $4. Yep, $4. It was $3.99. And it's so soft. I love working with this. And God, I turned it one way. Oh, Ebony and Ivory is the color name. And she wanted the black and white. But you know, it's so hard to get these variegated colors without having another. But this is the closest that I could get for her. So this is what we'll be working on today. So I just wanted to get these out. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself. because I can't take stress. It just is too much for me. So those are my 2 finished objects. And now I've got to sit down and get my bags organized for my my plastic bags, get them cut up and everything. They're getting I'm getting kind of overwhelmed with them. So I need to do that. I might do that today just to take a break, give my arms a break. But I have done nothing in my house. It is, I'm telling you, I can write my name really deep on some of my stuff in the house. My kitchen is full of every pot and pan except one has been used, and it's sitting on a counter to be washed. I hand wash my pot and pans, but I have trouble sitting there, so I have one of those computer chairs in my kitchen, and I roll around and I do my washing and putting in the dishwasher and stuff, and I cook all the time because I don't go out to eat, so I am cooking all the time, and it gets kind of wearisome having to cook every single night, and I get really tired of that. But I eat healthy. And I mean, you know, I'm overweight, but, you know, I can't, the doctors put on the reports, you know, that they do, and they put morbid obese, and I guess they're right. I am morbid obese. I have a bad left knee that keeps going out on me when I walk, so if I stand too long on it, it hurts like hell. So I try not to, I don't do a lot of standing. I can't stand in lines and stuff like that. And I do go like to Publix or places where they have the little scooters, and I can, you know, scoot around and do shopping that way. But otherwise, I do most of my shopping online. If you want something and you want it bad enough, and I'll tell you, sometimes I've gotten wrong sizes and I've had to send stuff back, but sometimes I think I'm too big, and then I get a too big a size, and I need to go down one. But anyway, it's kind of fun. But it keeps me out of the stores because, you know, it's hard when you don't have, you know, when you don't have that kind of money allocated for clothes and things like that. It's hard to go to a store and not be able to buy something that you see. So. So I have fun on the internet, and I do all my shopping on the internet. I even do my grocery shopping on the internet, Walmart. And I get in the car, and I put it in, and then I come home and get my little basket and put all my groceries in the basket and bring them in. It's very, very simple. It's a lot easier than going through the, I mean, in that way I can shop online and get what I want, and I haven't had any problems with it at all. And if you ordered, say, 12 rolls of toilet paper, and they don't have the 12, but they got the 20, well, the one time they had like 72. So they gave me the 72 instead of the 12, or 24, I guess it was. So I got 72 at the same price as the 24. So that's a good deal. So you have to, they do substitutes, and most of the time I do check saying that they can go ahead and substitute, because I don't want to go back. I do my big grocery shopping once a month. And of course, that's like the day or a day after that I get paid. So I'm on a budget there, and I try to, you know, because things creep up during the month that we all have to, that we don't expect financially, that we have to. And right now I'm in awe. And feel really bad about a lot of people, friends that I know that work for the federal government, and they've been out of work for what, 23 days. It hurts, and the bureaucrats up there on the Hill don't realize that there's a lot of people that live, you know, paycheck to paycheck. And they have illnesses. They have children that are ill, and they need to go to the doctors. And if you go to the doctor, that's an extra I don't know, copay or whatever it is. And they have insurances that have to be paid, like on their cars, on and if they have insurances and they're not on Medicare, you know, they got to pay those insurance on the medical stuff. So it's just really sad. It just breaks my heart. Just really, one thing you don't know about me, but I am a MSNBC addict. I have been since the election, before the election, I guess, when Trump went in, Trump and Hillary went in for the contest. And I watch it every day, just every day. Sometimes I just get anxiety thinking about where this is all going and what it's doing to us middle class or low and middle class people. So we just have to hang in there. I am trying to be very optimistic that we can leave it in the hands of the people that oversight all this and get these people back to work. They want to work and they need to work. There's a lot of things that aren't being done because of not being able to go to their job. And if there's anything because of this shutdown that there's anyone that gets hurt because of this or dies because of this, it's going to be awful. I mean, awful. So I can barely breathe. I better take some more tea. Tea helps, really helps. And I've got to send it to Blue Cherub. There's this tea that is supposed to be really good for clearing out the chest and everything. The doctor gave me one time when I had one of those viruses, upper respiratory infections. But this will clear up in a couple hours. I took my nap this morning, and I think I laid too low, and everything sort of drained right to my head. So yesterday, in between crocheting, I made myself a little scrubby. I needed, mine I've had for, I don't know, 4 months or something like that. But you don't have to replace them very often. And this is made from the Red Heart Scrubby. This is the Sparkle. And it's the great pot cleaner. And so I keep one, and I use it on my dishes all the time. Now, I know some ladies, they use it on their face, you know, to kind of like exfoliate. And, oh yeah, the little orange is because I ran out of the yellow and I just stuck the orange on there. But I did make one of those. And then I watched No Catchy Name, Ella. And I saw this cute little pouch that she made with a Valentine on it and has little handles that she's going to stuff. So that gave me, isn't that funny how you watch something and it sort of dominoes because it makes you think of something that you would want to do. Maybe not exactly the same, but the idea is there, and then you can create whatever you want. So I watched that last night. But, gee, sometimes I just can't keep up on all of these. But I've got, I think I have 8 subscribers now. I'm moving up. And if anybody watches this and would like to tell other people if you enjoy it, do it again. Go for it. Let's see, what else is going on? Today's Sunday. Today usually is my day of rest. Every day is my day of rest. No, but you know what I mean. I try not to do too much on Sunday. Oh, gosh. No, but I have started cleaning up the kitchen and soaking the bowls and stuff that I need to put in the dishwasher. So I'm going to do that today. That'll take me all day. I'm very slow, and then I'll be doing something and my mind goes somewhere else, and I'll just walk away and go do whatever I was thinking of at the time. But I did watch on Prime, Video Prime, Amazon Video Prime. last night, while I was crocheting, I watched Vanity Fair. I don't know if anybody's seen that. It's a British show, but it wasn't bad. I usually don't like, I had watched several horror movies and a couple thrillers, and then I saw that, and then as I'm going through, I went, geez, I know the end of this. I must have watched it years and years ago. So anyway, it was just keeping my mind busy while I was working my fingers to death. And so really that was about all. Just watching Prime Video and getting the rest of these things done. And that's my life. That's it, babe. Nothing exciting around here. This Thursday, a group of snowbirds that meet right around the corner from here. A nice condo development, and they come down for the winter, and I play bridge with them. So Thursday I will be playing bridge, I believe. So that'll be nice to see the ladies. I haven't seen them in a year. And the lady that got me involved in this, we met back in my 20s. Used to play bridge with her. And she comes down here for 4 months out of the year. And found out I was here and if I wanted to play bridge. And, one friend talks to another and there's dominoes down. And she found out I was so close. And so I played with them last year, so I'll play with them this year if they want me. Let's see, what else is going on? Nothing really. Phone hasn't rang for a couple of days. Walgreens called to tell me I need some prescription refills, and I told them I'll call them when I'm ready. And this is on a recorder, right? I'm saying, hey, I'll call you when I'm ready. So that's about it. That's the ball game. I did watch a lot of non-yarn related things last night, and I just really get I'm hooked into that. You guys are just absolutely wonderful. The controversies that you've overcome, the wonderful things that you've been done and what you do with your life. And it's just wonderful. And you're all so young. And I was watching one lady, God, what is her name? I want to say Carrie Penny. It might be Carrie Penny. And she was talking about growing old gracefully and all that stuff. But she's only like 35 years old or 34 years old. And I'm going, I'd like to talk, if I was around, which I won't be, in 30 years or 40 years, I'd like to talk to her when I found that the age that I did really well until you hit your 60s. And I think the 60s are when you start really showing your age in your 60s. And a lot of people go early, some people later, but I found that the aging process really excels in your 60s. And now that I'm in my 70s, of course, I'm getting a little gobble, but that's very common in our family. And things are starting to drop. I mean, if I took and did like, oh, now, look, I look like I'm 30 again, right? No, not really. But it is. I think that your 60s is definitely where you age the most. And my 70s is when I'm really hit your body. You could tell your body is starting to go. Yeah, I don't think a 60s. You saw the aging, but I think, well, I was 64, I think, when I had to have my right knee replaced. The arthritis in my knees is destroying my body. But it's just in my knee. Well, I do have some in my hands and all that good stuff. But the most problem I have is with my legs and my feet, with the neuropathy, and I'm not diabetic, and I know neuropathy goes with diabetes, but I don't have diabetes. I have neuropathy, and it's in my arms and my hands and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd like to speak to Carrie, but I won't be here to do that. So you guys do it. You younger girls do it. Check with Carrie when she's about 60, 70, and see how gracefully she ages. It's not nice. I mean, I don't even look at myself in the mirror, and I hate even looking at this camera here. But yeah, it's my grandmother said, please forgive me. My grandmother lived to be 99 and a half. She missed being 100 by a few months. And she said the only thing golden about the golden years is your pee. And she was right. She was. It takes a lot of courage to survive old age, I think. But my grandmother, she lived to be 99 and a half. She drank beer every night. She'd get those big, tall boys. Now, she's North Carolina. She lived in one of those old houses, you know, that were 100 years old. And the kind that had a fireplace in every room. But the fireplaces were blocked up. And she had a heater in her kitchen, sitting room kind of area, you know. But she'd drink her beer, and then before she started drinking her beer, she'd go and turn the electric blanket on in her bedroom because there's no heat in there. And she would drink her beer and wobble down there. But she lived to be, never had an operation. She had 5 children. One time, I have these cold nodules on my thyroid. And I have to take thyroid medication to keep it from, you know, turning into cancer. So they say that you pass the thyroid diseases is passed down through the female side of your family. And of course, my grandmother, I went to her and I said, Grandma, I said, have you ever had trouble with your thyroid? And she says, what that? I don't think I have one of those. Oh, gosh. And, you know, it's, my mother's wasn't around. My mother was killed at the age of 46. A Sarasota garbage truck hit her head on, not head on, but on the side. And she died instantly. And she was 46, and my baby brother was 6 years old. 5 or 6 years old. It was his first year in first grade, so he was 6 years old. It was the biggest tragedy I ever went through in my life. I think it took me a year. I think I was in shock for a year before I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It was a real tragedy. I mean, it just tore our family up. It just was awful. Just awful. And it was, you know, we went through, my brother was in Vietnam, and we went through that. And my mom the kitchen window looked over into the driveway, and she saw a military car drive up, and two Marines get out, and they came to the door. And my mother, I think her heart dropped in her stomach. I mean, and anyway, they came to inform her that my brother had been injured, and but he hadn't passed away. He was in Da Nang Hospital, and it was that was tough for her, I'm sure. And it was a few years later after that Mom was killed. So and immediately, like 6 months, February to August, I think it was, my father had a massive heart attack, and he was 51 years old. Heart disease runs in my family, in my father's side of the family. All of them died young. My dad had open heart surgery when he was like 56, I think. and he was having all kinds of trouble with his heart, very high blood pressure and everything. He was in pretty sad shape from the time it broke his heart. It just, to lose my mother, she was the love of his life. And so at 65, he had a massive, like, hemorrhaging, cerebral hemorrhaging, and heart. It was all heart and blood pressure related. And he passed away at 65 or 66, I think it was. So, and I was 40 at the time, but I was 25 when my mother died. So it was just really tore our family apart. Never thought anything like that would happen. You never know when tragedy is going to be around the corner. So we have to live every day to the best that we can with what we have. And to love those that are near you and tell you. You know, I have friends that I don't hang up the phone unless I tell them that I love them. That's just the way it is. I have been babbling like a brook for, 30 minutes now, and I know I should to sign off. There's other things I'd like to talk to you about, but you don't want to hear it right now. I kind of put you in a bad mood, didn't I? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You guys, it's, life is what it is, and you take it, and you listen to all these others in our community, our hookers, and some of their tragedies, and we are survivors. All of us are survivors. We survive and we move, and I find that women are the best survivors of all. I really do. I think men are very weak about things that have to do with feelings and relationships, but I think women are stronger and survive it all. As you well know, I don't know if I told you or not, but I've never been married. I'm a spinster or an old maid, whatever you want to call me. I fell in love at 43, and we were in love I'm in love. I always loved. He was the love of my life, but he died of a heart attack at the age of 58, and we fell in love when I was 43, and I'll tell you that story another time. But yeah, he was the love of my life, and I miss him every day. But I have never opened up my heart to anyone else. I don't see the need to. I like being. I'm alone, but I never get lonely. Sometimes I get lonely, but mostly sometimes like on the holidays. But my favorite holiday is St. Patrick's Day. Oh my God, that's another story I have to tell you. It's a good story. I have some good stories, I think. You might not like them, but it's a story, right? It's like writing a book. Being on camera is like writing a book. Telling you about my life. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, we all have a life, right? Well, anyway, I'm going to end this, and happy hooking, and spend the rest of your Sunday doing something relaxing. Watch a little football, a little basketball, whatever it takes to make you relax. And hook, excuse me, had a little burp. And I will see you good people next time with another story. Bye. Love you guys.